Welcome to the ITM Podcast.
This is episode 272 of the ITM Podcast, the official Boston Red Sox podcast of the CLNS Media Network, brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network. And the Boston Red Sox lose the first series of the year. My name is Copponi and Scott Neville. Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing a hell of a lot better than Rafael Devers right now. That's how I'm doing.
Yeah, let's start right there. So obviously, that's where we're going to spend probably a good amount of time. The biggest story around the Boston Red Sox, which is that Rafael Devers, well, he looks like shit. He looks really, 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 really bad. Through the first two games, he was 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts, which, Scott, I checked, is almost as bad as you can possibly do, given that situation. I will put my hand up and say I think I would have gone 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts. I think I could have grounded into one in 6 at-bats. I think I could have put bat to ball and grounded out in one. So Rafael Devers has a Joey Copponi start to the series, and then it doesn't get much better. 0 for 16, 12 strikeouts. The first MLB player ever to have 10 strikeouts through 3 games of the season. Wow. And the thing is, Scott, he had the opportunity to beat the slump in the biggest moment possible. Like up to this point, obviously.
We're jumping right into it.
Yeah, I think that's where my mind goes. It's like that in my head. I was like, oh, here we go. Here's the slump buster. I got the tweet ready to go. Tying run on second with Duran. I mean, that can be an infield single to get him in. Easy. Here we go. We've all put you in a perfect position to get yourself out of this, and drew a walk, which I guess the best you can ask for from Rafi, given the circumstances. But holy shit, I've never seen him look so bad.
His timing was so bad consistently. That's like the main thing. It's like people thought, I mean, announcers talked about it today, like Lou and Obi. I don't know how involved Kevin was, but like it hasn't been swing decisions. It's been ability to make contact, which is way scarier. When he fouled that ball off right before the walk, he like sliced one in the stands, and I was like, okay. And even Lou was like, that's the best contact he's made by far this season. And it was like, it was crazy how fast I got to the point where it was like, can this guy even make contact right now? And before we get crazy, I also am probably the least worried of I don't know how many people are like genuinely worried, but like, I don't care about this at all. Like, I know it's just going to take like one good game to be like, oh yeah, all right.
No, he'll have a bomb in the Baltimore series. He'll have 4 hits and he'll have a bomb in the Baltimore series. Like, I'm not worried about it. Maybe it'll take a little bit longer than that. Maybe 4 hits is a little generous, but he'll get there. I'm not worried about him long term by any stretch. It's more like this was a game and a series where 1 or 2 hits really could have done it because your pitching kept you in it, and there were moments much like the 9th inning of Game 4, where a run there, a hit there, like every other point in Rafael Devers' career, you have the tying run in scoring position, and Rafael Devers steps into the box. You're fucking stoked. Like, yep. I had hopes that like, oh, this is the slump buster. Here it comes. Like, I knew, we all knew. Like, the best case scenario was what happened with a walk, but there's some metrics that we should take a look at. Because you're absolutely right. It's the bat speed. It's ability to make contact. It's being way fucking behind. Partially because bat speed. They mentioned this on the broadcast. This is credit to OB on this stat. Bat speed down 3.5 miles an hour. And credit to stats for this one. I don't know if you saw the tweet about Rafi's stance.
Yep, that's where I was going to go.
More open and further back, which says, I know I'm behind. I know I'm late, and I'm trying to fucking get there. Why you would change your stance now? Why you would mix things up? Don't really know. Don't think last year was a a season that necessitated all too many adjustments, but he did, and it doesn't seem to be working. I mean, I think it's because of the shape that he's in, because of whatever's hindering him in terms of bat speed, that he has or he thinks he has to adjust his stance in this way. Obviously, not helping.
That's an interesting angle. I've always thought of this as a result of why spring training is important, which he basically skipped for reasons relatively unknown. The actual thing that like Red Sox Stats tweeted was Rafi's stance was 51 degrees open in the summer of 2023. It opened up to 68 to 70 degrees by last summer, which was when he was hurt and struggling. And 3 games through this year, it's opened 77 degrees. I can see that being compensation, particularly last year when you're in the middle of a season. Totally can see that. To me, this just feels like, I wouldn't be surprised if Devers was a guy that doesn't really pick up a bat in the offseason. That's, I don't really have anything to base that, but just feels like, there are guys like that just don't pick up a bat and then they get there and whatever. It's going to take a little bit to get locked into that form that you have every single day for 162 games. They make a whole month for you to kind of figure that out.
Right.
And I know he was in the cages and stuff. It's not like he just showed up March 27th, but like, he said his timing was off. He said he was off. He needed more time. We wouldn't have been mad if he struck out a bunch of spring training. I would have said just get out there, like that's, he got pushed back a bunch of times for saying, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Well, those games don't count. So go out there anyway and strike out a bunch and feel it. Like, okay, that felt weird. Why did that feel weird? What you said is interesting. I didn't even really think about compensating for injury, which based on Stats' tweet, we know he's done that once by getting wider. So is he doing that again? I don't know.
I think it's also just compensating for shape. Like not just, physical shape, like Rafi's weight. That's not what I'm getting at. I mean, just bat speed ability right now. If he is that kind of guy, and like this is all speculation because but he is a guy who has a life outside of baseball. There's guys who don't. There's guys who do, and that's not to say that that's like an indictment on Devers that he, fuck him. He owns horses and he has daughters. Like he has a life. He lives with his family in the Dominican on a farm in the off season. And that would make me think he's probably not one of those guys who's in the cages all day during winter. And if his bat speed's just not there, another thing that opening up that stance does is it brings his center of mass back. Actually, it's in the Stats tweet. You can see it better there.
The green dot.
Yeah, but it's further back and away by multiple inches, by like 6 or 7 inches.
Back. It's back 4. I don't know how far away it is, but decent amount as well.
He's
looks like 3 inches back, 4 inches, or 4 inches back, 3 inches outside.
So he's moving back and further away. He knows his swing is behind. He knows it. And it's crazy you brought up that foul, dude. I thought the exact same fucking thing. I was like, maybe that'll do it. Like that foul ball is going to be enough to turn him on. I'm not worried. I'm just like a little frustrated at like how this whole situation has played out. Rafi not knowing about going to DH. And then I was a little upset at Rafi for how he handled it initially, but I couldn't blame him, but I was still upset at him. It's like, I just wanted better for you, or wanted better out of you, but I don't blame you for feeling that way. And I was upset that he wasn't playing in spring training. I was mad that he didn't go to Mexico because I knew that was a spite thing. I knew that he was like, fuck you. I'm not going on your fucking Mexican road trip. No, have a good time. I'll be here getting ready to be your DH. I know that's what's going on there. And then to come out and start the year like this, it's frustrating for him. It's frustrating as a fan. I'll tell you what we don't need to be doing, though. We don't need to be talking about trading Rafael Devers after 4 games in literally March where he doesn't look good. He looks really bad. But to be talking about trading or to be talking about opening up a slot for Vlad or whatever, we can all take a fucking chill pill. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. I think he's not doing himself any favors, not even by performance, but by... I mean, he finally said something like, I'm the DH now, whatever. Like, that was, I guess, progress. But he I don't know. Like you said, he did like everything wrong in terms of how to handle it. And he had Bregman on the other side doing everything right. And now it's
Yeah.
easier to do that when he probably knew he was going to win that battle, but and it probably wasn't as big of a deal, second or third, for him as Devers, third to DH. But yeah, I don't love anything that's really happened with Devers, from the jump. And it is, obviously, it's dumb to say we should trade him. It's dumb to say anything. You should be rooting for the guy. I also don't like people that are, like the one thing I always critique about Yankees fans is they'll do the boo birds
Yep.
nonsense when Stanton strikes out 5 times. But what if he has a 3 home run game? Now you're wearing his jersey. Like I don't like that. So
It's
like,
ridiculous.
I'm definitely rooting for Devers to get out of it. I just wish he would, kind of mature up a little bit. And just one thing that really genuinely pissed me off too was he's making this really, it is a semi-drastic transition to go from playing the entire game to sitting on the bench for 90% of the game and then going up and having to perform and then being cold for, 45 minutes and going up. And you have the best DH in the history of the sport available to you, and JD Martinez, who had one of the better primes of a DH, I think, in memory, at least recent memory, of people that are still alive. And I don't remember who said it, but somebody asked him, have you reached out to either of them about like DHing?
Nope.
And he's like, no, I will. It's like, dude, the season started, all right? Like if it was mid-March, it'd be one thing. It's like to just be like, I'll get there when I get there, Like if I think, I haven't thought of it, like I'll get to it, let me put it on my list. That's
And these
just,
are,
I don't
I
know.
mean, it's just partly Rafi's personality too. Like, does Rafi seem like the guy who would like call somebody and be like, "Hey, man, I just want to pick your brain a little bit"? Like, I just don't think that that's him. I think he's a shy guy, a quiet guy. That pretty openly doesn't want to be the leader of the team. Not doesn't want to be a leader, but doesn't want to be the voice of the team, the face of the team. He hates the
I
face
don't
of the
know.
franchise stuff. I can't imagine him being the guy to like reach out and be like, "Hey, man, just wanted to talk to you. How'd you
Just,
handle the
yeah.
transition?"
Sounds like a lot of like, I don't really give a shit. Like that's what it sounds like to me.
It
You
sounds
can
like
say
it. I don't
that.
know. It might
You
just
can
be who
say
he is,
that.
though.
I get like not wanting to be in front of a camera a ton, but at some point, like you just have to, like I don't really care if he's not the face of the team, but in that regard, it's like, will you just like be a man and get in front of the camera for your team? Like just do it. Like, just Bogarts look like he's like his life is that bad because he has to be like, I'll talk to them after a loss and I'll handle the question of, yeah, we need to be better defensively. Like, was it that hard to do that? Because I can't imagine it is. So I don't know. I don't even care about the fact that he struck out 1,000 times this week. He's just pissing me off since the beginning of spring. Like, just being an absolute child. Every single time I see his face outside of a baseball field, he's saying something stupid or he's doing something stupid. And I'm like, all right, man, just why don't you just shut up and get in the cage for a week and then we'll figure it out? You know what I mean?
I mean, it sucks because Rafi is like generally such a likable guy.
I know I love him too. It's just
Yeah,
he's driving a stake. I don't know. And it so won't matter once he starts hitting and everything's fine. And I'm gonna listen to this in like June and be like, why was he being like talking about myself a couple months ago, being like he needs to chill out a little bit. But I feel like
but
I've
I
just
get it
there's
too.
no
It's like
time.
he's easy
Yeah,
to like when he's likable, but when he's not, it is upsetting. It's upsetting because it's like, dude, like you're supposed to be more than this. Like
yeah.
he falls short of it sometimes. He does. Like there's no way
It's
around it.
it's easy to go right to the like professional athlete that doesn't care enough to get in shape. Like it's quickly and you don't even it doesn't even matter. Like he was awesome. Ortiz wasn't exactly a physical specimen. There's plenty of Hall of Fame level talents that weren't in elite shape, but I think when you get the it's quick to go to that's why you don't pay the overweight guy who maybe isn't the hardest working, whatever. But even then, people say, he when he was playing third, he stunk at it for the whole time. But apparently, he was out there every day before games, practicing, trying as hard as he can. So, and I don't think I know, I certainly don't think this is you know, he doesn't care if he's getting hits. Like, he certainly cares about that, and it's
Oh,
just
he
not
cares.
working. I don't think it's a lack of effort at all. I just wish he handled. I just wish somebody spoke for him. Maybe he shouldn't be talking in front of the team. Maybe that's why he's not doing it, because he's sounded like an idiot multiple times, or a baby or something. So maybe he should have other people talk for him, and he should just mash baseballs.
I will say he so obviously cares. For anybody that might think that he doesn't,
Right.
Look at the dugout after every game. Last guy sitting there today, Veritek's like consoling him. He looked like he was near tears, like just kicking his own ass. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. You should be kicking your ass a little bit. Get your ass into gear. I don't know if it's going to help or not, kicking your own ass. I don't know if Devers is the kind of guy where that helps or not. Here's something. This is going to be out of left field a little bit, but I had the thought I want to say it. Rafael Devers is not Aaron Judge, and I mean that in a bunch of ways. But he is not
as tall.
As tall. He's shorter. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, that's all. Prize Picks is the best. No, I was going to say he is not the lone bright spot on a team that otherwise stinks. He is not putting the team on his back to single-handedly carry them to the postseason. If Rafael Devers never hits a baseball ever again, that hurts John Henry's wallet. I think the Red Sox would be okay. Is it the quickest, best, easiest, most successful path? No. But if Rafael Devers tomorrow is like, you know what, man, fuck it. I don't want to be a DH. I don't want to strike out. I feel like shit. I'm going home. I'm taking the rest of my money and I'm going home. Thanks so much. We'd be fine. Not fine. We'd be fine.
Not.
It'd be okay.
81-81. Again.
Yeah. Yeah. It would destroy this year. It wouldn't destroy the future is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying the Red Sox are stacked. They're deep. They got a log jam of talent.
Yeah.
If Rafael Devers, if you are that worried, if you are in the camp where you're like, he might just be cooked. If he is cooked, things will still be okay. And he's fucking not. He's not.
That's the big one. Yeah.
That's the bigger thing. He'll be fine.
He's one of the best natural hitters on the planet, and people forget, like, we're talking about how he's open. Like, I definitely think he's closed off, or should close off a little more. I think it's interesting that Lou Merloni pointed out at BP. He did a round of BP like neutral, like not open at all. And Lou was like, maybe just get in the game and do that. And that's a very weird thing to be like tinkering in a big league game, but I kind of understand what he's saying. It reminds me of, I took a couple like golf lessons during COVID because that's the only thing you could do on the planet pretty much.
Right.
And I remember this guy, huh?
Tiger King was out.
Yeah.
You could watch that.
My fault.
And golf. Go on.
No, I'm glad you cut me off for that. I remember like a golf instructor being like, if you go like, he was talking about irons, and he was like, if you just go back like a step, just as like a practice, you'll hit it straight every time, like during this drill. And it was to show something about being back on the ball. And I was like, well, hold on. I was like, if I can just take a step back and hit the ball straight 100% of the time, I'm just gonna do that like in the whole time. And he was like, well, no, this is a drill. I'd be like, right, but the goal, you see what I'm saying? And so I did that, and I feel like with Devers, like it could be as simple as a little adjustment. But the point I was trying to make is he's one of the best natural hitters in the world, and it's not his form that, like, it's not like I could emulate his prime stance and I would be Devers. Like, he has these given abilities. He'll figure it out. Even if his form isn't perfect, like, something will click. He could still hit a ball 4,000 feet in a bunch of – he could take Euclid's swing and hit a ball 4,000 feet. He could take Poppy's. He could take his own. It doesn't matter. Obviously, I think he will have more success if he closes off a little bit, but he will be fine. It's not that – like, the stance is a way to get more out of a person, but that ability is still there.
Springtime is here, and baseball season is officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash today. On Prize Picks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports. Combine your favorite baseball players with players from basketball, hockey, esports like Scott watches, and much more. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. Do I need to win? Dude, no. No, you don't need to win, man. I've told you this 25 times. Listen when I tell you don't need to win. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday. Sorry, Scott. I just messed up.
Oh, we heard it.
I just read through the Taco Tuesday thing. I didn't hand it to you. I'm really sorry, man.
Yeah, I know it hurt. I was there. I was sitting there waiting, ready to go, and you just, oh, go ahead, do your thing, man.
No, I'm not even going to read the rest of that part. I'm not going to.
I'll just walk away. You keep doing the show. Apparently you don't need me.
I'm not even going to. I'm not going to finish that part. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Other things did happen in this series. Yeah. It wasn't just Devers swinging, missing, watching strikes, beating himself up, chewing tobacco, laughing for a second, then getting angry again and sitting in the dugout and crying. It was more than that. It was Garrett Crochet's debut. It was Walker Buehler's debut.
Kristian Campbell's debut. There were other things besides debuts as well.
Other things happened on the field. Let's start with Wilyer.
Yeah.
Series MVP if we had one. 7 for 10. Intentionally walked. Something about that happening early in the season is fucking awesome. That's so sick. Like, you have to be so hot to be intentionally walked in a situation that's not, tying run at third, first base is open, we just want to put him on, 1 out, whatever. There's 2 outs. Wilyer Abreu steps up, tying runs in scoring position. They're like, no, thank you. No, we want no part of that. Took 3 games for opponents to be like, nah, we don't want to pitch to you. No, thank you. That's awesome. That's awesome. When I imagine a guy getting intentionally walked, it's in game 120, and it's like, this guy's on a fucking heater. He's seen this guy twice this season already. We don't want any part of it. 2 home runs. Came into game 3 with, these are some fun numbers. I love early season statistics. A 2172 OPS and an OPS plus of, do you want to guess?
211.
495.
Ooh.
That is awesome. That is just awesome. Wilyer, a guy who people talked about maybe not making the opening day roster for Roman Anthony, and they also talked, myself included, hand up, talked about trading a lot of the winter and came out hotter than anybody by a country mile.
I'm like the biggest Wilyer guy on this planet. I wanted that, when we were doing the superlatives, I said at the end of the show, I really wanted to get him one, but team MVP may be a stretch, not so far. But biggest surprise. I think it wouldn't have been that much of a surprise if he raked. Maybe it is to the people, but I don't know. He mashes, and he won a Gold Glove. Like, the thing is, he's a guy that you know is going to get 20 plus home runs a year. And he's a Gold Glove right fielder for the Boston Red Sox, which is relatively important. I don't know if you know that, based on the field they play half their games at. They got a big thing going on in right field. A lot of space.
Big field.
They got a weird thing at the corner where the ball rattles, and you got to worry about that. Yeah, it's awesome to see him get off to a hot start like that. And I love that he's not a platoon guy necessarily anymore. Mm-hmm. Everyone's excited. Roman Anthony's incredible. Hit 2 more home runs today. But that spot will open up naturally. It'll be an injury or something, but it's not going to be because you have to get rid of these guys.
We got to talk about Kristian Campbell. You mentioned him, but the kid's here. The kid's hot. The MLB account tweeting a Felger and Maz reference. Do you see that?
Yeah, I did. Awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. Whoever runs the MLB account has to be from Boston because I know they make a fair amount of like inside jokes in Red Sox Nation. They're making this like they got to be a Boston person, and it's amazing that you can get away with that and be like, "Hey, just trust me, people are going to like this." But also, 1 out of 30 MLB fans gets it. I'm sure that's not an accurate stat, but you know what I mean. Yeah. One fan base will get what I'm referencing here. Nobody else will. But Kristian Campbell in his first 4 games in the big leagues, 6 for 14. That is a .429 batting average, a home run, an RBI, and 2 runs scored.
But Joey,
yeah,
that first single kind of questionable.
You think so?
Sort of close to an error. So
yeah, and he should have caught that ball that had a 2% catch probability.
It had 15% catch probability.
15%. Oh, then he definitely should have.
Yeah, so it's basically, I mean, they basically handed it to him. He dropped it.
Yeah, he sucks. I'm back on it. You're right. He sucks. 11 total bases in his first 4 games. WRC plus 249. The kid's major league ready. The kid looks great. 1286 OPS is ridiculous. Scott?
I gotta say something. As somebody that's written about sports professionally for years and done whatever this is, never figured out weighted runs created plus. Never understood that stat. I just always pretend
OPS plus by somebody else. I think it literally is Fangraphs version of OPS plus.
So like 100 is league average.
Yeah, every plus stat is, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just I've always stayed away from that one. Never took the time to learn that one. I know all the other advanced BS for the most part, but that was one that I skipped over it.
Yeah, we all have one. We all have one that slips through. I have to remind myself when I see BABIP that I'm like, what is this supposed to tell me again?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this supposed to tell me that he's better than he is or worse than he is? That I always have to sit and look at it for a while and be like,
it's like that's like a lucky stat almost. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so if his average is high, yeah. But you also have to put that against the average BABIP of the season. It doesn't, whatever. Some get lost on us. Anyway, basically an OPS plus of 249 over his first 4 games. Playing with confidence, too. Can we say that? Feel, eye test? Playing with confidence. Looks like he belongs there. Playing like he belongs.
I think particularly, which actually was quite the opposite of what Matt said. He said he's scared out there. He's terrified. He's playing his first big league game, and he looked a little nervous. I guess this guy's not going to make it. I will say in Game 4 was the 8th inning or the 9th? It was the 8th because he was facing Chris Martin. Mm-hmm. That was like
big league at bat.
Yeah, I mean he took a couple swings he shouldn't have. Obviously the last one, but I think I think he had his. I'd love if somebody asked him. I think that was his big league moment because he's thinking 3-2 in this situation. There's a base open. I'm getting a heater here, and Chris Martin intentionally threw a ball in the dirt, which is just such a wow. You don't see that maybe as much at the level before this one.
Yeah,
we didn't.
Campbell walked away with a smile on his face, shaking his head. I bet he was thinking fuck, I knew exactly what he did there. Like he gave me the runaround there. And also that face said to me fuck, I want to take you again. I want to get back up there. Pinch hit me for Sedan or whatever. Get me back in there. But no, dude. I mean, the kid's good. And once he starts running a little bit too. I mean, in the field,
he's
obviously in left, he looked great. Second, he looks okay.
Yeah, I worry about my biggest thing, and I'm sure get into this, the rumors of the extension talks.
Yeah.
I acknowledge that he's probably going to be a good player. I think the big thing that I'm gonna do versus like I think for generally speaking, I'm gonna be the one that if someone played great, I'm gonna be like, well, let's calm down. And if someone played
Mhm.
terrible, I'm gonna be like, just calm down. There's really nobody. Like, I almost wanted to go into the show being like, we learned nothing because we have learned nothing.
Yeah.
But if everything looks like projects as if he's gonna be a really good player. The one thing that I took away that I really liked, again, 4-game sample is a little weird, but Stats had something on his bat speed being like 75 miles an hour, and I think like the top of the league was like less like 78 or something like that, 80, something like that. So he was
Mhm.
like toward the top in bat speed. That's a metric I think that matters a lot. How hard can you hit the ball?
Well, because he coils his spine.
Yeah, he is a really
Dude,
weird.
his
Well,
swing
people
is
didn't.
crazy.
Scouts don't like that. Like the older scouts would be like, he's got a funky thing going on there, and they don't
Yeah.
care about the results. I don't know where you place him defensively, and that's my biggest like pause on his like. I can't picture him long term because I don't know where he's gonna be and what happens there. And it's not a Rafaela situation where it's like, oh, he's a Gold Glove shortstop or Gold Glove center fielder. What do you do? It's like with Campbell, it's like I don't know where he if he ever is going to be a quality defender in any position. Not to say that he's you know done for at any of those places, but it's just like I just don't know I don't have a crazy idea either one way or another defensively where he's going to be, how good he's going to be. It's weird how little knowledge we have about his defense because they just moved him every 10 innings last year.
I mean, it feels like he's going to be a guy who gets like 90 games at second, 40 games in the outfield.
That's such a weird combo though.
It
I don't
is.
know. I don't love that. And also like
He's an athlete.
adding another
He's a super utility, hopefully future star.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird there's a log jam everywhere. And that's
Yeah.
part of the problem. Because what happens when
And a
Anthony
massive
comes
hole
up?
at second base that you really fucking want him to plug.
Sure, but at the same time, Meyer's coming up at some point this season, and if Story doesn't get hurt, like I feel like with Meyer, everyone's just going, well, Story will get hurt, you'll replace him. What if he doesn't?
Yeah.
And Campbell's good. Then that's what I'm saying. It is a good problem to have, absolutely, but there's a weird logjam everywhere, so I just don't know. I don't know where I see with him. He's looked awesome so far. He's super fun to root for. And I think one thing that's under talked about, that's not the right way to say that.
Sure.
His speed on the bases has been really helpful. They got a huge run because he scored from first today. That on a play that you know that took some speed, and I think he swipe a bag. I don't know if he swiped a bag or maybe he
Campbell?
scored. Yeah, at any point, I don't think he
No,
did.
no steals yet.
But he had an important run today. Obviously, we lost, doesn't matter. But like at the time, and he looks good out there, and he looks really good at the plate. And he's already one of those guys. When he wasn't that at bat with Chris Martin when Bregman had gone on, I was already like, oh, Campbell's up. Like good.
Mm-hmm.
Like we already have
Mm-hmm.
that trust pretty early on. The thing with him is I don't think he's going to go down, striking out looking. I think this is going to lead to a result.
Even that K against Martin, it's like he was hungry. He wanted it, And I think also it's like your big league career has been, 4 days, and like you battle an AB that long. I think it's hard to suppress the urge to just you want one, That's when even if it's just fighting it off to keep it going. Like I think he wants it. I think he just wants it. I think it's also because he's been in prove it mode for so long. Get there, earn it, prove it mode that, settling now and also facing better pitching, being like, all right, it's chill. It's chill. You can, I think it'll come in time.
I mean, Chris Martin, that's just a bad matchup because that's a guy that he doesn't walk people. He has elite command. He still throws like it's not like he lost his fastball or like he's throwing 88 up there, but he has the IQ. It's not like he's one of those guys. I think it's just a matter of going into this game. He had 372 career games. Chris Martin does, and it's like that's a guy that made his MLB debut in 2014. That's just a mismatch in terms of pitch to pitch. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. 3-2, you're going to see a fastball coming. I'm going to throw a ball in the dirt. I got a base open. Like, that was just, I think that's just a masterclass in pitching. And there aren't many of those guys in AAA. And I expect Kristian Campbell to win a lot of those battles in the future. But Chris Martin's a dog.
Speaking of a masterclass in pitching, the Red Sox rotation did not exactly have that out of the gate. Here's the first look through the first 4/5 of the rotation. Crochet went 5 innings, 5 hit, 2 earned, 4 Ks. Let me say this about Crochet before we move on. The first 2 innings of Crochet, I was like giggling to myself, saying like, how will anybody ever score a run against this guy? Like, I can't imagine plating a run against Garrett Crochet. Like, it won't happen. That didn't last too long, obviously. But my God, when he looks unhittable, he looks unhittable. So Crochet, 5 innings, 5 hit, 2 earned, 4 Ks. Houck went 5 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned, 2 Ks, 2 homers. Buehler went 4 1/3, 7 hits as well, 4 earned for him as well, 3 Ks and a homer. And Fitz, the only pitcher to go 6 innings with 6 hits, 3 earned, 4 Ks, and also 2 bombs. Tough to learn all too much about your rotation one time through. Bullpen kept you in this one. Yeah, not even all the way through one time. 80% of the rotation is gone. You don't want to make any kind of massive assumptions about the starters. But I think you will see better from all 3 of them. And nobody imploded, which is good, just confidence-wise. It's tough to take away big things from this. Obviously, it would have been sick if Crochet in his debut went 7 1/3, 10 Ks. Would have been sick. Didn't happen. It's okay. He will have a game like that. He'll probably have more than one game like that.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's panicking, so I don't think that we need to like quell any kind of panic. But just kind of a whatever time through is kind of funny. Dick Fitz gets you the. Actually, he doesn't like Dick. Doesn't he not like Dick? He doesn't like Dick, right?
I don't know the answer to that question.
I think he prefers Richard.
How you made it.
Fitz being the only one to go 6. It's, you know what it made me go, Scott? It made me say?
Go ahead.
Oh, it's funny. And that's your takeaways from the first time through the rotation.
I thought Fitz looked great, and he was my surprise, whatever performer superlative there, and I felt like obviously he crumbled a little bit at the end, but I liked what I saw in terms of like he has a new whole arsenal, and I just think he's going to with his current pitch mix like only get better, and the velo bump is a huge thing. He's talked about the difference in performance, 95 miles per hour and up, getting consistently over that threshold. The batting average against for 95 plus is a hell of a lot lower than under. So I liked what I saw from him. Obviously, 3 runs in 6 innings, got out of a huge jam at some point in the middle there. I think that's a fantastic 6th starter.
Also, starting the year facing Adolis Garcia fucking sucks. That's gotta suck if you're a pitcher. That sucks. Because he's intimidating, dude. He's one of the few guys. He's plucked straight out of 1999. Just
Steroid
dropped here.
Steroid era?
Yeah, that's a coincidence. Definitely not an allegation.
Steve Matra met him in a bathroom at the All-Star game.
That's maybe the last place I would want to meet Adolis Garcia.
I was waiting for him, and Adolis Garcia walked in. And then Steve came out, and I said, "Did you notice anyone in there?" And he was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I was like, "That was Adolis Garcia right there. They just went in right after you." And they got a picture together.
In the bathroom? Did he go back in?
No, right outside. Right outside. No. He waited. He did the respectful thing and hounded him right as he got out of the bathroom.
Did they take a picture like with like the men's room sign behind them?
No,
Like
I
standing
think
right
it
in front of the door?
was.
They should have.
I think it was like a lobby of the hotel, like because it was like it was a hotel lobby bathroom, and yeah, I don't know. It was a interesting little thing, but yeah, he uses steroids is what you're getting at there. There's
Yes.
some before and afters that aren't
Damning.
subtle.
They're damning. They're absolutely damning. Well, I think that's it, dude. I think that's all I got. Clean 40. Clean 40. I want to say this just on Campbell before I moved on, but I did move on. But let's just throw this out there since this is the very end of the show. Don't look at the timestamps if you're listening at home. Kristian Campbell, extension stuff. What would you throw out there?
It's so hard with you got to factor in pre-arb, arb, and then are you taking a year or two out of free agency? I
Or
would give
5?
him. I would go. I don't care how you figure out the pre-arb arb stuff, but if you could get maybe 2 years of free agency at 15 to 18 million a year, I'd be okay with that at this point. I don't want to break the bank for a guy that has 4 major league games. And also, to me, because of the questions about the defense, like both placement and ability and the quick rise and everything, I just think it's a little. I wouldn't be upset if they signed an extension by any means. It's just be kind of like, that's cool. Like you lock down a hometown guy. Let's see if it works out. But if I was in Breslo's shoes, I'd be waiting a little bit and saying a lot can change in 6 years. There's a lot of people who, look awesome at points and then whatever, they're prime, they flame out. I just don't know how to feel about him the way I would. Like Casas was somebody from day one. I was so confident. We knew he was the first baseman. There's no other first baseman in the entire organization. Hasn't been for years. His floor was so high based on his plate discipline, and his ceiling we still haven't even seen. And like that was a guy I was like, give him as much money as you want before he ever steps on the big league batter's box. I have more questions with Campbell. I think he's going to be great, but I'm just confused as to what it looks like.
I think that's all fair. I also think there's no harm in giving him like the Acuna deal.
Yeah, what was that, 800?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine. That's what I mean by like,
I'm like,
yeah, if you can grab
give
a
him
couple years.
140. Like, would you say no to that? If you've played 4 big league games and somebody offers you $140 million, is that a stupid use of money over 8 years or over 10 years?
I think it's easier to do that with an international player over like I just feel like an American guy with the rankings. If I don't know what his family situation, but if it's like a stable you might bet on yourself.
Mm-hmm. They
I feel
showed
like
his family every fucking second this series, and they looked bored.
Really, you think so?
They looked bored. Yeah,
the only one
they looked like they don't care about baseball.
I remember the first hit. That's really all I can remember. How amped up his dad was.
Yeah.
I don't really remember seeing. I remember them panning, but I guess maybe to your point, I don't remember anything notable. So I guess that's kind of what you're saying. But to be fair, I think most people watching baseball, like if you showed a camera into my living room while I'm watching, I don't think I would have had a super crazy outward reaction, even if I'm at the game. Like I don't think if you took a camera and watched us at Fenway this year, I don't think we'd be like electrifying to watch.
Yeah, it is just like, I'm sure they saw it and were like, oh, is that what I look like while I'm watching these games? Yeah. But still, just looking at it, you're like, wow, nobody looks like they're having fun at all. But it's probably nerves too. Like they're not talking to each other. Like they're just looking at the field. Like I'm sure it's like they all want to see the moment. They're all nervous for their son, brother, nephew, whatever. I don't know why you'd bring an uncle, but maybe they did. But yeah, no, I mean, I just think there's no harm in it, in going big for it. Like, I think there is total harm in throwing out something insulting. There is absolutely harm in throwing out a number that is like, dude, what? Like, that's what you, what?
I don't know. When someone's 4 big league games in, I feel like you can just kind of throw it whatever, because there isn't a whole lot of Like there was the White Sox failed experiment, and then the Braves hit on a couple. There's not a whole lot of data to say like what these people should be getting. Like we're still trying to figure out how to do those extensions that are that early on, and there's everything from
The
Scott
Braves hit on a
Kingery to
few, yeah,
Ronald
but
Acuna.
like, I'm not saying that he's going to like match Acuna, but like,
I'm just saying,
if he flames out in 4 years and you have 80 million left on the books over the course of the next 7 years, do you care?
I mean, with the luxury tax, maybe. I don't know. I'm okay with buying a year or two. I don't know that you would want to do more than that, and I think a lot can happen. Like because it could be like he could be awesome, and then he could have one of the like a shoulder or whatever. Like even like think about what Devers has with the shoulder problems and how much money there is left on his. And not that it would be the level of this deal, but how many years are left on that deal where it's like, oh, if this is like going to be a thing every year. That might have been a really bad investment, and you don't know. It's still one you have to make in that case. But with Campbell, do you have to make that move right now? I don't really think so.
You don't, but it's also, I don't know. It feels like a low risk offer to me.
If it's
Devers, there's
800,
certainly risk. Devers, you already kind
yeah,
of did. You already have played out 2 of the 3 worst scenarios that there are, which is like getting him off the field this early and then like making him untradeable at this point. Not that you should or anything. I'm just saying like you can't move the money now, which is just like something you don't want to do with. I mean, big contracts are hardly ever movable, but if and when they are, it's not when you take away a guy's defensive aspect of their game. But
yeah, I don't know.
I think it's low
To
risk.
answer your question, 800, I'm okay with that. Let's just keep it with that. If he says no, I would totally understand why he's one of the top prospects in baseball. But yeah, I wouldn't go crazy yet. But talk to me in
All right.
June.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. You can follow us on the socials. What,
Joey.
dude?
Joey, dude, I know
What?
it's been a while. Joey, it's been a while, but dude, we got to do the pigeon preview.
Okay, folks, it is 3 games in Baltimore, the city of crabs. Game 1 is going to be Sean Newcomb versus Cade Povich. Sean Newcomb through 9 2/3 innings this spring, allowing just 1 run. He appeared in 7 games for the Athletics, formerly of Oakland, all in relief last year, putting up a balmy ERA plus of 65. The Middleborough, Massachusetts native finds himself on his hometown team. 5th time is the charm. Cade Povich made his major league debut last June and started 16 games for the O's, racking up an impressive ERA of 5.20. Tossed 11 innings against the bullshit 2024 Sox, allowed 6 runs on 11 hits. Game 2 is going to be Garrett Crochet versus Zach Eflin. Garrett Crochet made his Red Sox debut on opening day, allowing 2 runs in 5 innings. He's only ever pitched in Baltimore once, and it was a single scoreless inning in relief of July 2021. Oh, the memories. In his first start with the Sox, his cutter prevailed as his primary pitch over his four-seamer. We shall see if that trend continues. Zach Eflin is a spineless turncoat trader piece of shit. Dog shit, I actually wrote. Threw his curveball less than usual in his first start of the year, probably because batters are hitting 300 against it in his career. Game 3 is going to be Tanner Houck versus Charlie Morton. And Goose is losing his fucking mind if you can hear that. Tanner Houck has 36 innings pitched against the Orioles in his career with a 3.50 ERA. This blew my mind. Tanner Houck made 30 starts last year, 0 of them against the Baltimore Orioles. How is that possible? And Charlie Morton, the Mad Fisherman. Moore is a recipient of 17 New England Emmy Awards for his work on Charlie Moore Outdoors, Behind the Bee, Bruins Academy, and New England Traveler. He is a member of the New England Sports Hall of Fame, believe it or not, which definitely won't keep me up at night. And that is going to do it for your pitching preview. Scott?
So it's actually Charlie Morton, not Charlie Moore. That I think you got those two.
On Nesson.
No. Morton's a different guy. He was on the Astros and the Braves. He's a baseball player.
Yeah, he goes fishing with Tuukka Rask.
No, that's a different. Okay.
He's a little out there. Okay, he's a lot out there.
He's a goofy guy.
Yeah, he's crazy, dude. He also single-handedly keeps the pomade business up and afloat.
Oh, him
I
and
fucking
Pap.
hate him so much. I can't even play up the bit anymore. I fucking hate him so much. I want to meet him and just tell him what a fucking loser he is. Emmys? How many Emmys? 17? Is that where the bar is? I don't want one. I wanted one for a while. Everybody knows that I used to talk about New England Emmy Awards all the time. I don't want one anymore. If that's the bar.
Just got to that point where I'm starting to be like, I don't even want that anymore.
Yeah. It doesn't even mean anything to me anymore.
It used to be cool. It used to be like, it used to mean something.
Remember the old days when it meant something? Sox got to win this one. Sox got to win this one. You don't want to come back to Boston with a losing record, or even 500. This is the year. The future is now. They have the commercial on Nesson right before Charlie Morton Outdoors.
I think they just sweep them.
You think they sweep them?
Yeah, I think they just sweep them casually.
I think they should sweep them. It's a matter of if they do or not.
So that's just the truth.
I go into most series saying, I think they should win them all.
They should at least go for it.
Oh yeah. Like they should try to win. Honestly, every time they're in the box, I'm like, fucking hit the ball. Hit the fucking ball, I say. Hit it far, I shout at my telly. And that's just my thoughts. I didn't know how to end the bit. I actually think they win 2 out of 3. Interested to see Sean Newcomb. That's going to be something. It's going to be something.
Talk about a guy that, again, I'm sure there was a point where the Braves would have loved to extend him, and then he did what he did for the rest of his career. Like that's a kind of exactly my point. Pitching, obviously, much less reliable, you could say, but he was a guy. 26 years old, 2019. He had 3.16 ERA.
Didn't he make 32 starts in 2018?
31, you stupid idiot. Oh, no, 30 games started, 31 appearances, you dumb moron.
Sorry, dude. My bad.
He had 3.9 ERA that year. I don't know what happened. He had a 4.32 his rookie year in 19 starts, then a 3.9 the next year, and then they moved him to the bullpen. He had a 3.16, and then it ended for him. 11.2 ERA, 4.73, 8.78, 7.20, 9.13, 3.63 in 15 innings. A lot of these are, like that 7.20 was 5 innings. The 8.78 was 27 and 2/3. The 11.20 was 13.
That's enough. That's enough of a 27 innings is enough to reiterate an 8 ERA. I'll say that.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. He's had a weird career. He hasn't been on the field, really, is the issue. Yeah. At least at the big league
Maybe
level.
there is something to like playing for your hometown team.
Yeah, I hope so. I think it's cool that he's, where did you say he was from?
Middleborough.
Because it says Brockton on Baseball Reference, and I feel like Brockton has claimed him.
Well, I think he went to Middleborough High School is what I saw.
Maybe that's it. No, I'm not doubting that. He did go to Middleborough High School. Yeah.
Boom.
He's born in Brockton, but is that just because that's where the hospital is?
You've what?
I said that's where Brockton. If they just claim in the hospital, maybe Brockton Hospital. Maybe that's.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, because Middleborough is not far. That's just the closest hospital.
Maybe he just moved. Like 20 minutes. I don't know. But anyway, very local guy. I grew up one town over from Brockton, so it's cool to see him in the big leagues. Abington,
you're from Abington, right?
Yep.
I know somebody from Abington. I'll have to ask you off air if you know him.
Yeah, no, we've done this like a lot. Almost every single time. I'll have to
ask you off air. I can't ask you on air because there's some stuff I can't say on air.
But yeah, no, he should be fun. Good spring for the guy, and spring always counts. We know that.
What else are you excited for this series?
I'd like to see where the fences are this year in Baltimore.
They did move him again.
They moved him again, yeah.
I thought you were just making a joke that you were like, oh, what, they moved him the third time? They did.
Yeah. It's getting to be too much.
I'll say it, yeah.
It
is too much.
I'm excited for the Red Sox offense to play a dog shit rotation because they didn't look at because there's a lot going. We only talked about Devers, but like the whole lineup was pretty bad outside of Abreu and Campbell, particularly Casas, also terrible. Yeah. So it's just like a weird.
I mean, they left 10 on base in Game 4. Not a lot of opportunistic hitting, that's for sure.
And I believe Ian Brown just tweeted that outside of Campbell and Abreu, they hit 118 this series. So that's kind of one of those fun. That's kind of one of those fun things where they take out the good players and you say, look how bad they are. Whoa, wow.
What?
We got crazy news about the series.
Actually,
we got a new start time.
Oh shit! For what game?
The home opener. I would imagine that's probably Game 1. After a consultation with MLB, Monday's home opener at the Yard has been moved to 2:35 from 3:05 due to forecasted inclement weather. Wow.
So wait, it's 2:35 now, or it's 3:05 now?
No. It's 2:35 now. It was originally 3:05. They moved it up 30 minutes. So man,
I thought they already did that. Didn't that happen
a day ago? No, 4 hours ago.
Oh, well, I knew about that already, so that bores me.
You must get inside info on the Orioles weather forecast.
Maybe.
Used to be a guy around here that talked about the weather a lot.
Scott?
I was going to use this time to talk about whether Kristian Campbell should get an extension or not.
Oh.
But that feels old now.
We covered it.
I have one other thing.
Sure, hit it.
I like that Cora is going to use Chapman as put him in late in the game versus the best part of the lineup instead of just saying you're the ninth inning guy. I think that's just good management in general to have whoever you deem your best reliever to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, the ninth inning is important, but if 2, 3, 4 come up in the eighth, let's put our best guy there, and then Slayton will do just fine in the ninth. And it seems like
isn't that what he did in the opener? Came out to face Seager.
Yes. Yeah. It was 2, 3, 4 in their lineup, and he said Chapman is going to be the eighth inning guy, and then we have Slayton. So. Love that he's doing that. That's, I think, something that for some reason we get so locked into that ninth inning thing and the save situations or whatever, but it's really just about statistical advantage and leveraging your best players in the best spots and taking away their best players in the best spots. And if the best play, like I would much rather worry about Corey Seager in the eighth and Marcus Semien in the eighth than whoever they got after them in the ninth.
I'm all for it. I also want to give as much opportunity for Slayton to take over the closing role as possible. So
yes, I agree.
I'm all for it. I got a bunch of things in here. Number one, Millar, he didn't bother me that much in this series, stunningly.
Okay. Maybe it's because he was home.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's also in the booth. Like, I think him calling in, it brings in a very different weird energy, and like they talk over each other, and know, him being in person didn't bother me as much. The camera in the booth behind them, very weird. I don't know if I love that. Ness
kept
and not doing
forcing
Ness
that.
and shit all over again. Ugh, just all weird. The game 4 ended on a check swing that, to my eyes, looked close. I know some people were like, it's obviously a swing, but it looked close to me. Never saw a replay. Game ended on a called check swing.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. We never saw a replay of that. In
Never.
my
There's
head,
the guy,
I
and
was
here's
like,
Ford commercial.
yeah. Also, with Crochet, they missed his first pitch like every inning. I don't know if you caught that.
Dude. Awful about that. They're awful about that. And they changed nothing.
Yeah.
They're awful about it. Anyway, yeah, Miller didn't bother me as much. Second thing, I forgot people are going to boo Bregman on the road, especially in Texas, but I guess probably everywhere. I forgot that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that took me a minute. They were booing, and I was looking at my phone, and I was like, oh, are they booing Raffy already? And then I was like, wait, they're on the road. And I looked up, I'm like, oh, it's Breggy, right. Yeah, no, that's going to happen everywhere all year. That's going to happen. Something to think about. This one is a last minute. I'm throwing it in because I'm looking at Google Maps and I was looking at Middleborough. They changed the name of Plymouth Plantation to Plymouth Patuxent Museum. So that's something to know. Did you go there a lot?
I had been there, I believe. Yeah. So no, not a lot. Yeah,
it's cool.
That's the one where they
if you're looking for it,
like they have totally real pilgrims and stuff.
Yeah, no, they preserved a couple, they grew them in a lab, but they claim that they're preserved, but I got the inside scoop. They actually grow them in the facility underneath the ground,
like plants.
Yeah, dude, the Rays are going to be fucked without their facility that they had underneath the trop where they grew pitchers.
True. Yeah. Well, that's where all the real damage was done. You know how they said like, "Hey, the tarp got screwed up. It's gonna be like $15 million."
Right. Yeah. They're like, oh man, yeah, the roof made out of cellophane is broken. We need at least $100 million. It's like, what? Anything else could damage? No, just that. It's really just that. Some other miscellaneous stuff. Coke stands, couple chairs. It's gonna be a lot. Anyway, the Yankee bats. The torpedo bats. I want them. I want them.
You believe in it?
Yes. And I think it's stupid that it took this long.
I think it's crazy that bats aren't being changed every year. Once I started to hear about like the rules of bats, I can't believe that people aren't trying to come up with a new bat every year.
The second I saw it next to a regular bat, I was like, is that like if the limitations on barrel circumference are that to allow this bat, how the fuck has nobody done this? This MIT engineer came up with this brilliant idea to make the fucking bat wider. Whoa.
Barrel bigger.
Yeah. Make the bat thicker. Hit bulb more. And they're like, it's specifically engineered to not miss as much. Like, is it really? That's so.
You made a bigger bat, man. You made the bat bigger. So yeah, of course.
Yes, but gonna hit ball more often. So I totally believe in it. Instantly believe in it, and I also think Judge is gonna maybe hit 70 home runs.
Yeah,
especially because he did, his 60 runs with a slow March and April.
And he's not off to a slow start.
No. And the last thing here, I don't know if you saw Myers' interview with Jones and Keefe.
Just that he wants to be big or deserved to be.
Yeah, just that he said he deserved to be. And something about the wording. It wasn't. How do I say this? Interesting. It was interesting the way he was like, you know what? I thought I did enough to get there, so I guess I'll just keep doing this till they call me. And they didn't tell me when, but I get why they didn't tell me when. But I thought I did enough to get there. You just don't hear that kind of honesty a lot. Appreciated the honesty. Also, it's a bit jarring to hear that level of honesty. But I'm kind of with him. I mean, we were saying on this show, you said it. Yeah. I agreed with you that Meyer coming up here would have made a lot of sense. And I'm rooting for him to get an opportunity. I don't know how it will happen, but
That part's the confusing thing.
yeah, confusing process for sure. I think the move is a petition Rob Manfred to just allow 10 fielders.
Or just another guy in the lineup. We could use another DH.
Yeah, I bet he'd do that. What if Meyer was like, I'm not coming up if I'm DHing?
Ooh, that would be great. How long does Devers have to struggle before they put him on the Phantom IL for shoulder?
I think they would straight up rest. I think they might rest him. I know I don't.
I don't think. Yeah, I weirdly think if they did it today.
B kept talking about that. Sorry.
I know. But yeah, they're not going to do a game one of a series. I feel like you don't do that. I don't know. I feel like they're going to.
OB was like, oh, maybe they should have rested him. I'm like, you want to entirely kill any ounce of confidence that he has? You want to tell him you're not good enough to fucking play?
OB
3 games
also,
into the year.
Dude, he wouldn't shut up about it. It would be the next inning, and it would be like, yeah, it'd be like, Bregman's due up next inning after Devers struck out again. Like you just kept being like, yep. And there's Devers who stinks right now. Guy can't hit a ball. He wouldn't be able to hit a beach ball right now. I don't even know why he's in this game. Dude sucks. Anyway,
OB takes the headset off. Yeah. You need a tennis racket. That's funny. That's a funny reference, Joe. Come on.
Come on, Joe.
Dude, he also was like patting himself on the back during game 4. He's like, I was saying yesterday they might sit him and rest him in this game 4. Seems like that might have been the right decision. It's like, what? Dude, there's no way you're patting yourself on the back above AC's managerial whatever. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, you're thinking of it. He was thinking of it in a scope of the game, not Devers' career. He struggled again today, but also he probably doesn't get better on the bench. It's not like he's overworking himself. He's taking 6 swings a day, and then he sits and watches the game now.
I think the answer to your question, though, is if he goes 0 for Monday and goes 0 for Tuesday, he doesn't play Wednesday.
I think that's probably they probably do the 2-day rest thing before an IL stint.
Yeah. Do that. See how he's feeling, and even if he is, like you said, it might be a legitimate IL stint if his shoulder is bothering him. But you give him the phantom one either way if he's that far behind.
If there is mechanical changes where he's not necessarily too hard to play, but like you said earlier, he's opening up his swing because something is bothering him in the kinetic chain, then maybe that's when they do one of those things where it's like, yeah, he could play tomorrow, but like he's not going to be good unless he like truly rests. But it's weird to even have this conversation when he's had 4 months. Like that's almost like he needs a surgery or something because it's not rest that's helping, clearly.
Yeah. That would be detrimental. That would suck.
No, you said it wouldn't affect. You said it wouldn't matter. We're going to be fine.
They'll be fine.
Remember earlier?
The thing is, if he goes down, who do you have in your DH slot? Do you have Yoshida? Do you have Roman Anthony? Do you have Marcelo Meyer? Oh, no, there's too many options, and they're all pretty good. It's not like last year where, somebody goes down and it's like, who is this motherfucker that's playing on my team? Oh, he was, in Colorado's minor league system last year and he hit 230 in AAA and now he's here. Cool. Like that's how it's been with the Red Sox for years. And now it's like finally a place where like somebody goes down, no matter how important they are, there's depth. You can fill it with like major league talent.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. I didn't want to say that like they'll be fine without him. I'm saying if something terrible happens, they'd survive.
Agreed.
You can follow us on the socials at ITM_pod. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. You can follow him at Scott Neville 46. Just like how many bombs Roman Anthony is going to have this year after taking over at DH. We will see you guys after this thrilling 3-game series in the great city of Baltimore. For Scott Neville, I am Joey Copponi. Go Sox Kid! I've never said it like that.